Hey guys, what's up? It is Pete, and this is a weird little episode of the Millennial Mentality this week. Me and Nick just recorded a boys only episode, but the audio got a little messed up because we tried doing one of these Zoom recordings, and we made a mistake. So you just got me this week, but I'm just giving you a quick little update. I've had a lot of weird life stuff going on, and so we just kind of wanted to fill you in on everything. As you may or may not know, Nick just got married this past weekend up in Minnesota. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. I've been dealing with a lot of health stuff for the last 2 months or so. I've struggled with migraines my whole life, but for the last 2 months, I've had a migraine basically every single day. From the time that I wake up to the time I go to bed, I've got a headache to some extent. It sort of varies in severity, but every single day I've been struggling with this headache. And for the first couple weeks, it early in my life when I had these migraines, I sort of knew what my triggers were. It would always be like dehydration, sleep deprivation, skipping meals. So I was able to sort of manage it and prevent them as long as I kept those things in check. So for the first few weeks of struggling with this, I was pretty diligent about trying to make sure I was on point with those things, and really wasn't having any luck with beating the migraine. And so I went to go see a doctor, which I really hadn't seen a doctor in years, probably since high school, or whenever the last time you have to go get a physical for school is. And they didn't really have a lot of answers for me, to be honest. I'm a tattoo artist, for those of you who don't know, and the doctor kind of said they might be tension headaches because of my posture. I'm always hunched over like this, and that adds a lot of tension and stress on my neck and shoulders and back, and all those muscles are kind of connected to the back of your head here. So that might be giving me headaches. I also might be clenching my jaw and grinding my teeth in my sleep, which could be building tension in my head and giving me headaches. So I started doing a lot of stuff to try and counter those things. Stretching every day, getting a massage once a week. I got this acupuncture mat that I lay on for 20 minutes every day that's supposed to release tension all over your body. I've got this other little acupuncture thing that pushes this pressure point right here in your hand. It's supposed to help with headaches. I've got this ice pack hat that I wear all the time. Fucking really trying anything and everything I can to ease the pain. But really not having a whole lot of luck, to be honest. And that continued for weeks. And eventually I took myself to the hospital because the doctor had said, if you've got a day where you feel like you're having the worst headache of your life, go to the hospital and just make sure there isn't something more serious going on. So one night I did that, and they did some blood work, did a CAT scan, and they said everything seems fine. I appear to be healthy. There's nothing inside my head that is concerning as far as tumors or anything like that, which is good news, but it also didn't really give me any answers. But the doctor at the hospital did say he doesn't think it's a tension headache. He thinks it's a migraine. And at this point you probably need some serious migraine medication to beat it and get over it, and to go see a neurologist as soon as possible, which I already was kind of aware of, but when trying to make an appointment with a neurologist within my insurance, it was going to take me months. Like 2 months was the soonest appointment I could make. And even still, my appointment with my neurologist isn't until August 1st. And I made that like 2 months ago. And so I wound up just paying out of pocket and paying cash to go see a neurologist somewhere else because I was desperate and needed to find a solution. And so I got on some migraine medication. I'm taking a couple different things now. Like a daily preventative medication to hopefully prevent and reduce the amount of migraines, as well as a like emergency really strong medication that like if you have a super severe migraine it's supposed to like knock it out. And then she also gave me like a steroid pack that I took for like the first week that I was on these medications to hopefully like help my body beat that headache that I had been dealing with for months at a time at that point. And so it's been weeks that I've been on that medication and still I've had a headache every day. It hasn't been quite as severe as before I was on the medication. It's helped a little bit, but I'm still struggling with these headaches. To the point where I've been, for months, canceling tattoo appointments on like almost a daily basis, rescheduling a lot of people, and it's been affecting a lot. I missed Nick's bachelor party, missed his wedding this past week. It's affected a lot. And so I haven't really been able to figure out what's going on, but we did get some answers, maybe. My sister Bridget reached out and randomly kind of asked if I had any like weird leaks or anything in my apartment. And it did occur to me that my kitchen sink in my apartment had been leaking for a long time. And like the caulking that goes around the top of the kitchen sink that holds the sink in place and like attaches it to the granite countertop had sort of worn away. So there was no seal between the sink and the countertop. And so whenever like water would splash or whatever in the sink, or any water would like, go in that crease, it would sort of just fall right back behind the sink and behind the cabinets. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. But when she asked me that, I went to go kind of look back there and investigate. And sure enough, the particle board that the cabinets are made out of had been absorbing all that water that was going back there this whole time. And black mold had formed all back behind those cabinets. And I don't really know how long it had been like that for, but I'm pretty confident that that's what's been making me sick for all this time. And if you go and look up like the side effects of black mold toxicity, I've got like 90% of them, as far as the headaches being one thing, but I haven't been able to breathe out of my nose for a while, and I didn't realize that it was like connected or any, or like I didn't really think much of it. I just kind of thought I had like sinus problems or something, or like a fucking deviated septum or something. I don't know. I didn't think much of it. I just kind of thought my nose was fucked up. But it was also giving me a lot of anxiety because like I was having trouble breathing and having a hard time catching my breath because I'm constantly like mouth breathing. I can't breathe out of my nose. And I can't really like catch my breath, especially when I'm talking a lot. Like even right now, I'm like realizing I like can't really. I gotta catch my breath real quick because I'm talking a lot, and so I've been dealing with that quite a bit, and that's another side effect of mold exposure. Having sinus problems and like a allergic reaction to the toxins that are in the air and the allergens that are in the air. Brain fog. I've been saying it to Nick for months of us recording these podcasts that like my brain just hasn't felt like it's working properly, you know, like I can't really put my thoughts together the way that I used to, you know, like I used to be like sharp and be able to like articulate my thoughts well and speak well, and for a couple months now I just don't feel that way anymore. Like I really have to think hard to like put my thoughts together and put my words together and articulate. And I don't know, it's been really weird, and pretty confident it's this mold thing. So it was a little bit of a relief to like kind of feel like I found an answer, you know. I brought it to the attention of the apartment complex that I live in. They sent out a mold remediation company to check it out, but they advised that like I could still stay in the apartment. They removed the cabinets, but like they didn't treat the apartment at all. And after talking to my own, like that was the company that the neighborhood hired, which I'm sure like they probably want to spend as little money as possible. So I called like my own mold remediation company to get a second opinion, and they said there's absolutely no way like I should have stayed in the apartment. That should have been several days that I was advised not to be there. They should have had air scrubbers in the apartment. They should have been spraying chemicals to treat the mold. Like, it clearly wasn't handled the right way. And then I put myself in a hotel. I stayed in a hotel for a week because I didn't feel comfortable staying there, even though they said that I could. And when I finally went back after they had removed the moldy cabinets, I went back in the apartment and it still smelled like mold in the apartment. So I continued to kind of like look around and try to see if I could find any other areas that looked concerning. And I looked in my AC unit, and sure enough, when I moved the air filter back, my whole air handler, where the coils are, was all growing mold as well. So where all the airflow goes through my AC was blowing mold through my entire apartment in all the air that I was breathing. So again, I left right away, went and checked back into a hotel, and notified the apartment complex and just asked them if they could move me into a different unit. Which they understood, and they had a vacant unit. And so a couple days later we moved into a new building, a new unit in the same apartment complex. I had inspected the unit before we moved, which I'm sure they like had a cleaning crew come and clean before that inspection. So when I first walked through it, everything seemed okay and looked fine. But after being here for a week, my symptoms really didn't improve much. I still couldn't breathe out of my nose. I'm still having headaches every day. And I sort of kind of just assumed, well, maybe like this shit's still in my body, you know, like I gotta detox it a little bit and give it some time. But then after a couple of days, I looked in the AC vents, and the vents here were also growing mold. And then after looking around a little further and looking in the cabinets of this unit as well, you can see that there's stains in the back of the cabinets where it looks like there used to be mold that they scrubbed off and then just painted over. So it really seems very likely that this was also a moldy unit that they just kind of cleaned up and moved me into. So I took pictures of everything, emailed the complex again, and said, hey guys, like this is another moldy unit. I need to get out of here. at this point, I'd really just like to terminate my lease, and I'd like to live somewhere else, which fortunately they're gonna allow me to do. So we're in the process of trying to find a new place to live, which, as a lot of you guys know, is not too easy to do at the moment. The way the market is, it's kind of crazy. But kind of got to do what we got to do. I can't really stay here. So, yeah, I don't know. Things have been a little crazy lately, and I guess I'm not really... The point of saying all this isn't like... I don't know, and it's not like supposed to be a sob story or anything, but we just kind of... Me and Nick wanted to share everything that's been going on because we, I don't know, we don't want it to seem like... we're normal people too, you know? We tend to preach quite a bit on the podcast about positivity and gratitude and manifesting, and that's very much the life that we live, but that doesn't mean that we don't deal with normal people problems and regular bullshit like everybody else, and we have to deal with that shit too, you know? And that being said, there's a lot that I'm grateful for coming out of this situation, and there's a lot that I'm grateful for every day, even still dealing with all of this. Even still not feeling well. You know, there's a lot of healthy habits that I've developed as a result. You know, I'm drinking a ton of water every day. I'm eating extremely healthy. Once I'm able to beat these headaches, I'm going to be like the healthiest version of myself that I've ever been, which is amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm grateful that I've got the career that I do as a tattoo artist, working for myself, because if I had a regular job at the restaurant like I used to, I'd have gotten fucking fired because I would have had to take the last month off. You know, being sick and calling out constantly and feeling shitty, there's no way I would have been able to hold a regular job. Grateful that I was, you know, somewhat smart financially with my money for the last few months and saved enough that I could take a month off of work and be able to afford to still pay my bills and, you know, not tattoo every day and be okay. Afford to stay in a hotel. And I don't know, as much shitty things as there is going on, as stressful as it's been, I've got a lot to be grateful for, and I don't know. I know everything's going to be okay. We're figuring it out. And so, I don't know. I guess also if there's any other takeaway that anyone can learn from this message, it's like really value your health more than anything, because you don't realize how important it is until you don't have it. And that's like something that I'm realizing now. You know, like I said, I hadn't gone to a doctor in like 15 years probably, because I kind of just thought, you know, I'm a young, healthy guy. I've got good genetics. I'm in good shape. I think I'm good, you know, like, what's the doctor going to tell me? I don't know, you know, I think I'm good. And if you wait until there's something wrong, sometimes it's too late, you know? So just value your health and take care of yourself, because it's kind of like the most important thing you've got going for you. Don't overlook that. Well, think I'm gonna wrap this up. But I just want to say thank you to all you guys for all the love, all the support, all my friends and family being here for me. It hasn't been easy, but I know it's gonna get better. Thank you.